G'day and welcome to APS 101 Trigger for the animated prim system, brought to you by zED. What I'll be going over in this video is the trigger scripts. Now I'm continuing on from my finalized video to bring the animations that I showed you, the dumping of the scripts, to life. Okay, and I've already continued on from there and place the scripts in the objects already, removed the APS scripts, and I've got each of the link frame scripts for this one. As if you recall, in the finalized video I dumped separate scripts, one for each of the prims, because there were too many prims and too many frames to be able to put into one script. And for my line of boxes up here, just the one frame script, because there's only 4 prims, 9 frames. Alright, so before those frames can actually be put into use, I need a trigger to bring them to life, and that's what I have my little buddy over here for. And this is the APS trigger buddy, and you'll find him in your APS folder there, and you can just res him out. Alright, so to begin, you just touch him, he'll wake up and give you a little wave. G'day mate, how's it going? And you get your dialog menu. Alright, so you've got selective triggers and you've got preset triggers. Now your preset triggers have things like, we'll just go into here quickly, you'll have things like a counter, dialogue, so like this menu with buttons, a special one for a door to open and close doors. But not only does it work for doors, it works for things like windows or gift boxes. Anything that pretty much opens and closes door will be what you'd want to use. You've got timer, so say every so many minutes you want the whole animation to play, and that's what you use for that. You've got an MPS preset as well. Now this one is used to integrate the APS with the MPS. So the MPS is the multi-sit pose system, also brought to you by zED, a very popular no posable multi-sit system for like furniture and such like that. So this allows you to animate that furniture as well, so maybe like recliners or pull-out sofas, great for that. But I'm not really going to go into these. You read more detail about the triggers, in particular presets, and integrating the MPS in the instructions note card. I'm going to go just briefly over the selective triggers. Now when you go into selective, you've got many different options you can choose from here, and these ones can actually be mixed and matched. So you can choose like touch, so when the object's touched it'll animate. On res, when it's resed it'll start to animate. Collision, so when someone bumps into it or stands on it or what have you. Control, so like your arrow, which is like the arrow keys, mouse button, page up, page down, that's what controls. So it works with sit target, so when someone sits on the prim it can animate in general. Money, so someone pay the object and it will animate. So hell, you could maybe do one of those little gypsy things in a box, and when someone pays it she animates and goes, oh, here's your future. So, or chat, so like chat commands in local chat. Sensor, sensor, so when an avatar gets close enough to the object it'll animate. Link message, now link messages will be more for the scripters out there that know how to use link messages in scripts. So that's the option there as well. Got another page over here for more avatar status related options, so like when the owner of the object is away, or if they're busy typing, if they're sitting on anything, walking, running, flying, or in mouse look, you can choose for it to do that. So great, add a little typing gadget if you want, so like whenever they type they've got a little Game Boy in their hand or something they're pumping away on, or who knows, whatever you have ideas for. Or flying, so it's great for wings, the wings start flapping when they start flying in the air, so stuff like that. But so the best way, there's hundreds, literally hundreds of possible combinations you can do with all these triggers, because not only is it as simple as turning them on and off, when you do turn them on, it'll ask you questions. Okay, most of these will have extra questions. It'll go, okay, do you want it to do this, or do you want it to do that? How do you want this to work? And you answer these questions so that you can further configure the trigger to your exact specifications before dumping the script. Okay, so I'm just going to do a simple touch trigger for my objects here, and I'm going to just do the same one. I'm just going to do one, and then, like I said, the best way for you to learn these is give them a try. Test them out. Try different things, answer the questions differently, and give them a go. I mean, really, that's the best way to learn these. I can't sit here and literally show you them all. As I said, there are hundreds of possible combinations, and it would take me forever to show you them all. The best way is for you to try them yourself. So I'm just going to show you a simple touch one though, and how the questions go. So when I go to touch, okay, ask me, do I want to play the animation once when it's touched? Do I want it to repeat while touched? So if I'm holding the button down on the object and then when I let go it stops. Or toggle on off when touched, so touch it once to turn on, touch it again to turn off. Alright, so I can do, say, let's just play, I just want these to play once. Okay, and I can choose owner only, group only, or everyone to be able to touch it. So if I set owner only, then if somebody else touches it that isn't the owner, it won't do anything. Okay, group only to the group it. Now these are common ones that you'll see throughout some of the other selective triggers that you can choose as well. Okay, so I'm just going to choose everyone so anybody can touch them. And then you'll see now that that is turned on, that I've answered the questions. Okay. So now if I wanted to select something else as well, I could choose something else if I wanted to as well. Any one I want, and just mix and match them. You don't have to just stick with one. Say I wanted it to chat as well. I wanted it to chat activate. I could then choose chat, and it would ask me things like, okay, what channel do you want it to be able to chat on? Who can chat with it? What is the message? And you type in your message and stuff like that. So I'm just going to stick with my touch though. I'll go into dump. It'll ask me a few more questions before it finally dumps the script. The first one will be, do you want to reset the animation to frame 0 when it stops? So basically it'll play from, you know, the beginning to the end, and if you want it to go back to frame 0, so the first frame, you would say yes to this and it would automatically jump back to frame 0, ready to go again. Or no, it would go to the end and stop, and that's because I'm playing it once. If I chose loop, where if it does it while I'm touching, if I said no, when I let go of the mouse button, it would stop right at that frame and it would stay that way. But if I had it reset, it would go back to frame 0. Same with turning it on and off with the switch. Okay, but I want it to go back to 0, so I'm going to say yes. It'll ask you the animation name, so this needs to be the same name that you put in when you were actually dumping the frame scripts. Now, it doesn't matter if you get this wrong, like, it's really easy to fix it, but it's easier obviously if you get it right the first time. So try and remember, it is case sensitive, it must be exactly the same. So I called mine in both of them bounce. Okay, and I'll show you how easy it is to change them in the script afterwards. It's as easy as typing g'day in local chat to somebody. So, and then submit that. And we've got enter the number of frames on a single line. Now I'm going to use this trigger for both of the objects to show you them working with their frame scripts. So, but I'm just going to set up for one, and I'll show you I'll actually change it for the other one before putting it in. So I'm going to do for the line up the back, the 4 prim boxes, and it had 9 frames is the last frame number, so I'll put that in and submit. And it asks me to put in the frame delay, so how fast do I want it to work. Now it can go as the frame delay can be as little as 0.02 seconds. Now that is extremely fast, and you probably won't have to go that low very often, but the option is there if you want it. I'm just going to put 0.3 seconds for my bouncing boxes. So, and I'll submit that. Then I'll get my menu to start when I'm ready. Again, to open my local chat. So open my local chat, and as I've said in the frame dumping, I can't stress it enough, turn your translators off. If you have a translator on, your script will not save. So turn your translators off before dumping the script. Okay, very, very important. Anything else like timestamps, people, friends coming online and offline that show in local chat, teleport offers or anything like that doesn't matter. It's automatically commented out by the generation, so you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Just translators need to be worried about. You need to turn them off. So start when you're ready. Again, it gives you time, 10 seconds, to take your cursor in there, left mouse click, go down just like with the frame, holding the left mouse button down in the bottom corner, and then it will generate the rest of the script. And you can just right click and copy that. Then after releasing, close it down. It gives the option to redo it if you needed to. So if you did forget to turn your translator off and you've noticed afterwards, you can then redo. But warnings all over the place there to say turn them off, so you shouldn't forget. So I'm finished now, and when you're finished, there you go, you're shut down. Good night, buddy. Alright, so now that I've got that, I can open up my inventory, and I've just made a folder here called trigger scripts, and I'm going to go and create a new script, and I'm just going to call this trigger. Alright, open this up and get rid of the default that's in there and paste the new stuff. Okay, so then I can save that. Now there are little comments in the scripts if you want in orange, so it sort of tells you what each bit of the scripts are doing and gives you an idea if you wanted to know. But of course you don't actually need to know to be able to use them. As you can see, it just saves straight away. Alright, now I made this one for the boxes up the back here, so I'm just going to edit these, and I'm going to drag the trigger script in. Okay, and now let's give that a go, and I'll touch that, and there we go. Every time I touch it, it's going to go through, and that's the frames working there. Okay, so now I want to make it so that it works with these ones, but these ones have 16 frames, so I need to change the trigger script up a little bit. Rather than generating it again, going through that process, I can, if I want to use the same trigger, I can use the same script. Now, it's really easy. I've used the same animation name, but say it was a different animation name, I could just change it here. Whatever's in between these brackets here of lanim name, in between the quotes, I can change it to whatever animation I want to work it with. Alright, now because the frames for this other one here is 16 frames, I can change this here, that L frame max, it's actually the last frame number, and I will go 16. So I just type in 16 there, change it from 9 to 16. I want to keep the frame delay, L frame delay, and that's just the delay between the frames. And actually, let's make this one a little faster, yeah? And I'll just go 0.2 seconds instead. Okay, and I can save that again, and it's that easy to change those. Okay, and now I can take that trigger script and I can place it in here because it has these 16 frames. And let's give this one a test. And there you go. Lots of bouncy boxes when I touch it. Bouncy balls. Alright, and that's the trigger scripts. Like I said, give them a go. See what they do. Mess around with them. Play around. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You get a result that you don't want, well then you just dump another trigger script to get the result that you do want. It's not going to hurt anything. So there you go, that's the trigger scripts. Good luck and enjoy the APS.